to another edition. Y'all know what it is. Shopkulture. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a different day. This is Wednesday, not Tuesday. It's Wednesday at 8ish. We changed the day. Tune calm down. Two had to go do his fatherly duties.
Come on.
But we're back. So, Tim, how was your trip, bro?
Man, mixed emotions. You know what I'm saying? I got to go get my son. That was, it was great, man. Like, ball, as soon as he seen me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Start crying, man. I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? The hug, 10, 20 minutes.
The whole nine.
And then to fly back the next day, right, with my son, and we fly back from Houston, man, and we get stuck in Utah, Salt Lake City, man. And we were stuck in Utah for 12, 13 hours because of a snowstorm.
Ooh, wait.
Literally, man.
Julie, real quick, can you put down that camera? Just took it down just a tad bit, please. Just a little.
She was talking about that earlier, but I didn't want to mess with it while
I
didn't want to mess with it while we were live. So
it's all good.
Is this right here?
Just a little down. Woo!
There you go.
Well, I can't see it.
No, yeah, you right there. There you go. Right there.
I gotta show the shoes.
I mean, you spend so much time cleaning and put so much money into it. You got to show it, though. You got to show the prettiness of the kids. You got to show the kids.
Yeah, well, back to it. That's good. Actually, my son, he's going out of town tomorrow, so he's going down. And but times like this, it's interesting. The older you get, like when your kids go out of town and you haven't seen your children since that emotion, you're like, this is why we do it.
Yep.
As parents, as fathers, mothers, aunties, and grandmothers and stuff. It's those times, So once again, though, this is the holiday season. 'Tis the season.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays
Guys,
out there.
real quick, I always want to say this. It's something that somebody was telling me about. Actually, a client of mine. We were talking about blessings. So, every show I'm going to try to say, want you guys to kind of say, hey, what are you blessed? What's a blessing in your life? Just kind of just put it down and just put it in the air, release it. And it's just something that,
mine is so easy. It's so easy. My other son will be home Saturday. So all of the Coomer children will be under one household again, back together. You know what I'm saying? I am blessed to be a father. I'm blessed to have beautiful children. I'm blessed to be able to say that I'm in my children's lives with no issues and all of that other stuff like we're gonna get into today. You know what I'm saying? And
there's a lot of it.
And I'm blessed to just be in the situation I am with my kids, and to see them back together again was such a blessing to me, man. It made everything, made sitting in the snow, made being stuck on a plane for 4 hours. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It made all of that worth it, man.
It's a sacrifice. It's like I said, what we do. Guys, this is going to be an interesting show. It's a show that actually the producer, Nick Jones. And once again, let me do the quick introductions, of course. We got, who this guy is. He's the shutdown corner.
Come on, baby.
Anthony Toon. I can say Toon. I don't say Toon.
It doesn't matter. Hey, listen.
Hey, I just call you shut down. People still ask, what does that mean? Go watch Deion Sanders back in the early 90s and see what he did. That's why I call him that. When he played for the Cowboys. Guy by the name of Darryl Green from the Washington Redskins. Anyways, I'm talking football now.
Come on, we'll be sitting here all day, spinning them wheels.
And now we got the producer extraordinaire in the back.
What's up?
Come on, tell him. And then we got a special guest over here, Miss Photographer. Is it Julie?
Julie Girl Photography.
Oh, well, that's too long.
That was Julie Girl Photography, y'all, if y'all didn't hear it.
She in the building. So we want to thank her. She is actually going to be doing we got a photo shoot coming up.
Yes,
for
sir.
Oh, snap.
Yes, sir.
First official.
Somebody
said
she's going to make me look good, y'all. She's going to clean me up.
She's going to get you right, bro.
Come on, man. She's going to make it look right.
Man, hey, man. You made it when you get photo shoots.
Man, listen.
It's like, woo.
Bro, I feel like I'm somebody now.
Man, my mom said you're going to be somebody when you grow up.
Come on now. You're going to do something with yourself.
Man.
It took me long enough, but we got here.
We here. And of course, I'm Barry Crosby. This is Shopkulture. Guys, real quickly, like we always want to tell you, it's coming up. It's coming up pretty quickly. Make sure you guys.
Come on.
December 20th 6.
Meet and greet, baby.
It's a meet and greet.
We in the building.
And guys, I was just informed. Could be some limited space, so make sure you kind of get there a little early. Like I said, it's only 3 hours. Come through, just meet and greet, and it's not just meet and greet others, it's meet and greet everybody
in the community, man. Everybody you've been talking to, commenting back and forth,
arguing back and forth,
right? Beefing with, come get a hug, man. Let's get all that beef, man. Come get a hug, man.
As the group expands, it's interesting. It's like you want the group to grow, right? You like it when it grows, but then you get just some of the oddest, weirdest. And you're like, damn, did I sign up for this? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
kind of did.
Listen, we love y'all, man, but sometimes we just sit back like, whoa, y'all are off the chain.
And I'm not going to say too much because, like I said,
I love it, though. I love it, man.
I always said that, one of the things I wanted to have with this platform was a place that people can talk about just about anything.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Without somebody jumping in, you can't say this, or I'm not one of those, I'm not a dictator, so I want it open. But damn it, some of y'all make it difficult. Some of you just think.
Tell me about it.
But listen, how about we think about somebody's feelings a little bit before we post?
It's not everything got to be an argument. Not everything has got to be back and forth with a woman or man and all this kind of stuff. Sex. It's just like,
okay.
Guys,
it's okay to have opposing opinions, y'all. We love the dialogue.
It's just
let's continue the dialogue without having to be so aggressive.
I love that.
Listen, and I'm not gonna lie, because I'm guilty of it. I jump in the group. Me and Nick didn't win at it.
We didn't win at it, yeah.
I go at it. I'm passionate, okay, and I understand. But we also got to try to be as objective as we can. You know what I mean?
And it may be an elder statesman. I try to.
No, you don't.
I'm trying to. Because my thing is, I'll say stuff, and it's not really my opinion. I try to, my opinion don't matter. But my thing is, it's just to have the dialogue. That's all this is. Just dialogue. It's not my feelings or what I think, because I put it up there. I'm asking the questions. Oh, this is a dumb question. Well, you answered it with that comment.
Perfect segue.
You know, man. So it is what it is. Enjoy it. I hope you guys are. We're having fun doing it. And this is what it is. The Shopkulture.
Continue to grow it.
And we're going to continue doing this. And we want to thank you guys for being a part of it. And man, it's a journey, it's a ride, but it's a beautiful thing when you're on it and being a part of something. So thank you guys.
Oh, real quick, I had the first person come up to me and say, "Don't I know you from Shop?" Man, that was so dope. They literally, somebody in the street came up to me and said, "Don't I know you from Shopkulture?" So I just want to shout out that person that stays watching, man, and it stays loyal to the show, man. I really appreciate that. It made me feel like a little celebrity. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was somebody in the moment. Like, what? Oh, you know?
I ain't gonna lie. The first time I was at Fred Meyer, I remember it was right when the mask, the mandate had come out. So I had the mask out. And she actually worked at that. I don't know if she still works at Fred Meyer, but she's like, I watched the show. She went in. It was something I said too. She went in on me. And all of a sudden you had this, the sister. You had the two sisters. And the line was all women, right?
Oh, no.
And she said, he said this. And I mean, it was two sisters and a white woman too. And she was with the sister. And they were going, I was like, damn. I said, man.
I left my groceries.
Let me go to another Fred Meyer, please.
I'm going to come back and get that.
It was the Fred Meyer Fairwood. I was like, damn, this is some
I ain't going to Fairwood.
Man, stay away from Fairwood.
I ain't going to Fred Meyer and Fairwood.
But
I know my people gonna have picket jumped off. I'm good.
That was crazy. Damn. But guys, anyways, all right, on to business. So Nick is the producer of the show. And so Nick came up with some really good topics. So Nick, I want you to expand on the first topic.
Okay, yes. So the first topic is rather a hot topic.
Okay.
Me and Toom, we were just kind of going over it because after I was speaking on it, he recognized what it was I was talking about. So if you guys haven't, if you guys haven't heard, I'm sure everyone has at this point. I think this past Saturday, out in Baltimore, Maryland, there was a double murder homicide that went down. Unfortunately,
very tragic.
This anesthetist, I think that's what it's called. It's a nurse who specializes in anesthesia, putting people down or whatever. All three of the individuals who ended up passing, they were all within that. They were all within this field, in the medical field or whatever. Yeah. This is what they all specialize in. So, I think his name is how you say it is Rajaee Black. Rajaee Black. Yeah. So, he ended up killing his ex-girlfriend. And then I think within the hour, like an hour later, he then went and killed his ex-wife. And then he went on Facebook and confessed to the whole thing. While he was confessing on the Facebook Live, he had already, did his ex-girlfriend in. He hadn't yet, got his ex-wife. So right in the middle of that, he had seen her going into her, because he was standing outside of her apartment building.
Okay.
And so he had spotted her going inside, and then he stopped midway of his confessional, chased her into the building, and then the last thing you hear him say is, "Today's the day," and then the feed just cut out. So he ended up killing her, and then he killed himself. Act of cowardice. And he even, admitted to it. He said, "I can't go to prison." He had claimed that he was going through depression, and depression that was brought on by his ex-wife. Yeah. He was going through a lengthy custody battle, 3 years, 4 years, right? So, I just thought that was pretty interesting, because I was consuming content that was talking about like just the child support system, the family court system, and how it's not really fair to the men. And so what I was doing was trying to connect the dots. As you see where I'm going with this, like the title, the initial caption for this topic was "Child Custody, a Dirty Game Where Everybody Loses." And
as we know,
right, right. Would you agree?
I'm gonna let you finish before we.
Okay. So the caption is what sparked some colorful commentary in the thread.
Some of the comments
by two young.
I haven't been able to, because I've been traveling. So dive me into a little bit of.
Well, okay.
So some comments. So it was some back and forth between me and two young ladies. Who, I don't know if they have been through this themselves, as far as just going through child court system, custody battles, things of that nature. But in my opinion, I think it kind of struck a nerve how they were, presenting themselves in the comment section.
It got a little personal.
Some of them were recounting their testimony, and my thing was, okay, I know you guys are looking at the caption's face value, but that doesn't mean like yes, it was mostly custody battle that he was going through, right? That's all that we know via the reports. That's all he gave us. I threw child support in the caption though, because they're linked. They go hand in hand. You lose custody of your child. What happens next? And it's safe to say that there's a lot of men who would rather not pay child support. And I'm talking about the men who do go to the courts and they are fighting for their children so that they can have custody. But when you
got two men that have no problem paying a financial responsibility when it comes to their children.
But then you have men out there like that they don't get that fair shake, even though I'd say some. We're not going to say that these situations don't exist. At least let's say that.
So as a person that I've dealt with both sides of that fence.
But I always maintain if you're a man and you're trying and you do and handle your responsibility, more than likely the woman will.
That is true in most cases. But let's be realistic here. We know that just like men can be emotionally mature, so can women. We all go through trauma. We all go through our past experiences, and a lot of times our past experiences, especially when it comes to somebody so close as a child's father or child's mother, normally those traumas tend to last a little bit longer, and it takes us a little bit longer to heal from those traumas.
Some don't even address them.
So listen.
This is the case right here that we're talking about.
From both sides. I've been there
because we want to discuss it.
I don't want to. I want Toom to finish what he's saying, and I'll get back to it.
So coming from both sides of the fence, where you know me my whole fatherhood since I became a father. You know what I mean? They are the most important things in the world to me. I'm not to say that I've never made a bad parenting choice. I think we all do. We grow as parents. I started out really young, but I've been in the situation where you could do everything that you can, everything. And I've also been, and you're paying your child support, you're doing everything you can, and it's still made hard for you. And I've also been in a situation where, and I've never been, on the other side of that fence where you're not doing anything because I just don't understand it. But I've seen it firsthand where
I always going to be easy though.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think it is. So because I'm gonna tell you why it is. Okay. If you and there's a process to make child support easy. The problem with child support is
custody and child support.
Custody and child support.
That's why
and I'm gonna dive into this.
We gotta distinguish because they're two separate items.
Okay, so here
we're talking about because I want to talk about the topic, which was the case.
Right.
Let's dive into what you're talking, because I think it's very valuable information. But we want to
It is, because it all goes hand in hand in my opinion.
But
so I'm gonna finish this really
quick. The case to me dealt with mental health, though.
Right, and I was going to get to
definitely.
that. I was going to get to that. Go ahead.
So the problem is, the reason why most men find child support hard is because we don't first go get it done. So I have a thing I tell all my young brothers.
You don't go fill out the paperwork.
Go get your child support yourself.
If you don't know what you're doing,
go put yourself on child support.
Yep.
Because if you report your income, you report everything that you're going on and going through. The courts will give you more leeway when they begin these processes. But if you wait for somebody to put you on child support, they're going to hit for the highest they can. And this is something that I've talked to my lawyer and the prosecutors about, because I had to actually work with the prosecuting team at one point for child support. So I was going through the whole rigmarole, going to the courts once a month, dealing with these people.
But I agree with you.
So,
but in cases like this, we'll get to this case,
Right.
Case like this, we can't necessarily say that was the reason. Though.
No.
And I wasn't trying to say that it was.
That's why we had
I wasn't trying to say that it was. It wasn't the driving force. It was just.
Okay, that was part of.
It was just.
What you're saying?
It was just part of the overall talking point that we're doing right now. Because
here's the thing.
Because it was part of the
necessarily really know.
It was that.
I'm just
the case. Okay, so let's just get this out the way. The case was a custody battle issue.
It was a custody battle.
And the fact that he was going through what seemed like a bitter ex-wife from him. That's from him.
That's from his
he
point
even said in the video that his depression stemmed from what his ex-wife was putting him through and slandering his name and his character, all while going through 3-4 years in family court fighting for your children. You know what I'm saying? And you're already in from what I see.
Okay.
Right? I don't want to say we, but from what I've seen, based on what I read, he seemed like he was already in their life. Hence why he was like an active father in their life. And you got the ex-wife taking you to court year after year after year, trying to say, no, actually he's not, and I need my babies and I need them now. He can't get. I don't want.
When I read the article, it said that he also had 3 prior domestic situations with 3 other women. So it wasn't just the wife.
I did read up on an article about.
That's why we got to be very careful.
So here's my thing.
In saying
can we be objective here? Can we be objective and take this case, right? I understand that we're using this case as a basis for our study, right? Yeah. But let's be objective and take his situation out of it, because overall there are custody issues, or custody battles that drag out and end up in these volatile situations.
And that's what I wanted to get
that's
to.
What Nick is trying to go with.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to get to.
When
men are going through stuff like this, it clearly negatively affects them in such a way where you got the cats that are just like, you know what, whatever, it's an L. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna keep fighting, or whatever. Then you got the cats that just give up. Then you have the cats that, in rare cases, I guess, like this one, it goes to a dark place to where dudes just snap.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. How many times do we hear in the media?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
The dude's how he handled it was garbage.
I know. I'm not saying. I'm not condoning that at all. I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying that we're, as men, though, we got to be accountable and hold other men accountable when we see garbage. That was a cowardly.
But nobody's definitely did.
I'm not saying, but I want to repeat that so people can understand that we here are not standing by it.
Exactly.
Secondly, yes, you're going through a negative situation. There's other ways of handling that.
And I said that in the comment section.
Yeah, okay.
I said that in the comment section.
We're not being objective here.
Why are we not being objective?
Because you're sticking to one topic about, yes, we understand what the man did. The man killed somebody.
2
people. The man took a life.
Yeah. Right. Despicable act.
We're not talking.
Everybody lost in that situation.
That's what the topic. If you bring up a topic, you can't say, "Well, we can't talk about it." Right?
You're missing the point of what he's.
I hear what both of y'all are saying.
I know where you're going. I understand.
You're
using it as a base for your study, saying that situations like these can lead to this. And let's be realistic. I work in mental health. I work with the community. These volatile situations are not rare. They're happening every day. There are people that are going through custody issues that lead to volatile, violent situations on an everyday basis. We hear about it in the courts. We hear about it from our female friends. And that's what we got to talk about. The mindset that gets us there. I see where you're going, big dog. I know where you're at. You want to get down to because what this guy did was wrong.
It's just helping illustrate the talking point.
We're not denying that.
The case is just to help illustrate the talking point.
But how do we get better at these situations if we can't get to the basis of what caused this guy to end? Now listen, I'm not saying that he wasn't a violent person. Okay, I'm not taking that. But hold on.
He definitely was.
Listen, hold on. Listen, being violent doesn't mean you're a killer. You've known me my whole life. I've been a fighter since the day you met me. Yeah. Right?
There's a difference.
There's a huge difference. But that's not to say that you being a volatile person and having a volatile situation, especially when it comes to those that are most important to you, can lead to extremely violent situations. That's where Nick is trying to go. And what he's asking is, how do we get there? How did we end up here? Right? Because listen, this guy's history of violence doesn't mean that he was a killer, and I'm not excusing anything he did.
At all.
Let's not say that. I think he was wrong. He was foul. He's a dirty individual.
Coward.
Listen, as a father that has
now the babies don't got no parents.
As a father that goes through it, right, and that has been down that road. Of course, you disagree. He killed somebody. Yeah. If you agree that something's wrong with you.
No, but I disagree with what you guys are saying because
I haven't said anything.
No, well,
what do you disagree with? I want to hear what.
Yeah, what do you
I disagree with using that as a talking point to discuss child custody.
You know why I don't?
Support.
So listen,
I think that's
okay.
But those are variables in which got him to, or got the situation to where it is, though.
But it's extreme variables that
no,
goes to.
No, it's
not.
He
just said that it's not.
No, it's not.
So that happens. So we're saying that.
Hold on. So listen. So
that killing happens.
I can't speak to that. I said rare. I'm just going
off. There you go.
I said rare. I can't speak to how often this happens.
Statistics will show that violence between fathers and mothers happen on a daily basis. This is not rare. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Listen, I'm not saying that he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. You're missing that point. He's 100% wrong. But what I'm telling you is that these situations happen all the time. It is in the news daily. What? How can you miss that? How can you miss the fact that men and women there are women that have killed their kids because their father was going to take them in. It was the custody battle went wrong.
True.
There are men that have buried their mothers, killed the kids. What? Come on, bro. It's not as rare as we think. The problem is the rarity is we don't step up enough as men to stop it. That's the problem.
That's what I was getting at.
Right. But listen, but it's not wrong because listen, the variables that led up to that situation are happening in everyday life.
Right. Be it custody battles, child support, whatever.
I'm gonna hit you
but
with
the
something.
end game is what I'm saying because women are being domestic abused in these type of situations way more than men. Let's just be way more than men. It's not even
especially black women.
Especially black women, bro. And so for us to use an example of extreme like this that's an extreme measure.
Is it extreme to you because you don't personally see it or hear about it? Or
you have to use it as a basis because when things get to that level, right?
It's a hard thing walking away from any situation.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
When you get into, and again, this is coming from a person that has been there mentally. Like, you're killing my soul. I'm fighting. I'm doing everything I can to be the best father I can, and you're making it extremely hard for me to be just a father. I don't want nothing to do with you as a mother, as a wife, as a girlfriend, and you are killing my soul. Me just trying to be a dad. So I understand. Not to say that he's right, but I understand being in the mindset like, I just want it to end. I just want this shit to stop.
I just want my kids.
I just want my kids. I understand being there. You have to be able to take yourself out of situations and say, well, I would never do it. But you can't tell me that you've never been in a situation where you'd be like,
I never said I
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't think Barry's saying it's rare. He's saying it's extreme measures.
Well,
He's not saying it doesn't happen.
We already realized that.
He didn't say it didn't happen.
Well,
we realized that, but see, the problem is
that
it was extreme.
When things go to extreme measures, right? You want to be able to diagnose how they got there, because again, this is not the rarity is the killing.
It needs to be talked about.
And the extreme part is the killing, right? Let's take that out of it, right? Okay. Let's take it out of it and just use what he was going through as a basis for conversation, right? Because it's not rare that women get jealous and use children as weapons. We see it all the time. It's not rare that men get jealous or get upset and use kids as a weapon. That is a normal thing. That it's sick, but it's a normalcy in life.
Or use kids as an excuse as for the reason as to why he carried out the actions that he carried.
Right,
out.
exactly. Or for him to be extreme and to use his kids and say, "Well, I wanted my kid so bad, I had to kill her." Right? What got you there is the conversation that Nick wants to get into. How did we get so bad in the custody battle? How did we get so heavy in the child support battle that it led to somebody losing their life simply over me trying to, or not me, but again, we don't know. We don't know. All we know is what's written. Let's keep that
Are we? Right. So the conversation, are we saying the courts are at fault?
No. We're just opening up for dialogue as into, listen. Okay. I think where Nick is trying to go, and again, tell me if I'm wrong. I think where Nick is trying to go is there was something in between these events. This violent ending, right? This violent, tragic ending that ended somebody's life and them making babies. There was some things that went on in between, right? And again, we can let's take it out. We're not even talking. We're talking about Anthony. Let's take dude killing out, right? Let's talk about Anthony. Anthony's been through the court system. Anthony's been through hell trying to see his kids and do all that other stuff. Well, let's use that as an example. I've never killed nobody over my kids. Okay, so what we're trying to say is what happened to where we couldn't communicate, we couldn't dialogue, we couldn't figure out how to work this out and co-parent without it ended up in a volatile situation and somebody ended up losing their life.
Because somebody didn't have the tools. Obviously, he didn't have the tools.
Right. So how do we get there?
All I'm saying, and I'm taking you out. I'm just talking.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
To say that, well, it could have been the court system, or it could have been because he couldn't see his kids. Yeah, there's a lot of men that has to deal with it, but a lot of men are not going to deal with it like that.
No, I agree.
That's literally what I just said.
Men are going to find a way to make something work.
Mentally stable men. We'll say that.
Listen.
Mentally stable men.
Listen. Now, I have a family member who, great guy, great father, was doing everything. I'm talking about kind of like another one of us. Okay. And at the point where him and his child's mother were starting to have a contentious relationship, they decided that they were no longer going to be together. She took that child. Said, I can't see this baby. Mm-hmm. Now, he spent the next 2 years proving to the courts that he wasn't a drug dealer, that he didn't do all this other extra stuff that she told the courts that, you know what I'm saying, that he did. Mm-hmm. And it was supervised visits for 2 years. For 2 years, B. Now, as a father that is active every day, I know you. I know your heart because I talk to you and I know you. We talk about these issues. Mm-hmm. I know where you would be at mentally. Now, would you act on a lot of those silly thoughts? No, because we understand that those are emotional thoughts and those are, rash, harsh, moments in time. And I don't think that, and I know for a fact that you would never do anything like that. But you can't tell me that going through 2 years of supervised visits where you can only see your child when this person is there, right? Not even the mom, but somebody else that's not even in your family, right, is watching you dictating, to make sure that you're not an abuser and you've never done anything. You've never hurt this child. You never hurt that woman. You never did anything, right? So you can't tell me that in those 2 years, you wouldn't have thought some volatile things. Now, you probably, knowing you, because I know you and I know your heart, you would never act and it would never go past a quick moment in time. But I know that you would have it, right? I know how you would feel because your son is your world. That is everything. And that's the way it should be, right? And to have somebody come in and try to take that or strip that from you would break you down mentally, physically, all emotionally. And the reason I know is because I was there. I was in that seat, man. Again, dude was whacked, right?
And I was about to say, when you're mentally unstable, as he clearly was, not every guy is going to, as you had put it just now, handle it in the way that you would normally handle things.
We don't know this man's history, right?
Right.
So we don't know what. But again, I'm not excusing.
But that's part of the dialogue and discussion.
Yeah.
We don't know
right
prior. But obviously there was some prior there because he had 3 other situations.
Definitely.
So there's some other.
I read about one.
Right, but see, that's why I said we need to take him out of the situation because his situation.
Kind of, but because I've had men come in here and tell us these same stories, but then when you dive into the story as a barber, we hear.
Yeah, you hear it all the
time.
Right,
oh
right.
man, I'm like, okay, but then the story started changing. Well, I lost my temper. Well, not 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. That's a pattern.
No, listen.
That's not 1 time. That's a pattern.
That's who you are.
That's who you are. Temper, and you're a parent. You're a father. As we know, we have boys, right?
Yes, sir.
We have to teach our boys
how to. So here's my question: did he have anybody to do that?
We don't know that.
We don't know that yet. As the story unfolds, that's.
But I'll be damned if I want to say it was.
No,
I'm just saying for me. Now,
I agree.
I'll be damned if I want to say it was a child. It's a court system.
No,
it's everybody else.
No, listen.
This man.
That dude. Listen. That dude himself.
I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly.
Because for anybody to, for anybody to act out a violent act against somebody else because because you're not receiving what you want. You know what I mean? It goes without saying. You know what I'm saying? I think that part goes without saying.
But I think that's where the loss of translation went in the comments because I seen both of what you were saying too. Well, you weren't saying that it was. You didn't say that.
I wasn't trying to have the episode in the comment threads. That's why I kept telling them tune in to get full context.
You held your ground, and you wasn't. I want to make sure I told the viewers that he wasn't saying that. I understand what the ladies were saying too. Is that
I did too.
That a lot of times, especially black women, right?
Right.
They're always. Looked on. Oh, well, she probably did something.
And one of them, and with the way one of the comments was going, it kind of sounded like she was trying to say that it's her fault that this happened. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
But he did say it, but that's what I'm saying. We got to have the dialogue in the conversation away from that. But I can see, that's why at first when I came on, I said, no, we don't stand by that. We tell men, right?
Right.
And we're a work in progress ourselves. We're not saying we're any better because we struggle with it. Everything that you said.
We had a whole episode about holding black men accountable.
But we do got to, when we see this, be very strict on our approach that, no, man, that's not good.
So, but see, here's the thing.
And here we are saying that very thing.
Without saying because
it can't though. It can't.
But it can't.
It should, but it doesn't.
Okay,
it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's what I'm saying. When we talk about a lot of these issues, right? It's almost ignorant to think that we would stand by that. You know what I'm saying?
It would be ignorant if you.
I think it's ignorant. Listen, that's a murder. Let's be realistic. If you stand by murder, what are we talking about? Then there's no reason to talk about custody or child support or anything.
And then to insinuate that maybe it's that woman's fault that he did all of that. No.
I don't think somebody's going to come out and say that, but there's a lot of men that will blame the woman.
We're not doing that though.
But I'm not saying, but
I get
in the comments, what I'm trying to say is that's why we got to say it. You got to say it.
Well, that's why we're here saying it. And that's why I was in the comment section. Hold on. That's why I was in the comment section telling those young ladies,
let me just finish.
Tune in.
That's why I'm telling Nick. He's like, well, it should be, they should know, but no, people don't know better. That's why we're in this situation.
It's not about people knowing better. What it is here in Shopkulture, we stand for something, right? We have established who we are as men, right? I think you've established who you are. I think I've established who I am. I think Nick has established who he is. And so when we talk about something, right? We try, especially when we do it in the group. I know at least us three, when we drop comments or we drop topics, we try to be objective. Now, when we come on the show, we're going to give personal experience. We're going to give personal perspective. But when we're talking in the group and we're posting conversation, we're being objective, right? So if I'm being objective, I think it should go without saying that I don't stand for murder. I don't stand for domestic violence. I don't stand for any of that. But I missed the conversation. So I'm going to have to go back and really.
Okay, so that you need to go.
No, but hold on. But I know Nick.
Still up.
I know Nick. Yeah. And again, I've only known Nick since I've been on the show. But in the weeks that I've been on the show, I've been able to establish a rapport and know that man does not stand for violence. Know that man does not stand for domestic violence or anything of that nature.
Abuse against women, black women, none of that.
None of that. So when he puts a comment, when he puts up a conversation, I can understand. Again, that's why when Nick brought it up, I said, I see where your vision is going. You want to take out the subjects and make it objective, so that way when we're talking about it, we can talk about the issues without our personal feelings towards what this man did. Because we're not talking about just this man. We're talking about you, me, Nick. If when he becomes a father, and every other black man that is going to go through this court system right here at RJC, right? And so that's where I think that Nick is trying to go is how do we, and not as just black men, but how do we as couples, whether it's man, woman, whatever, how do we get, again, that's why we got to do the pyramid one day. We got to do the pyramid. But how do we get to a point where we can take out some of those volatile situations? How do we get, you know what I'm saying? How do we get past all of that? How do we as a society get away? And again, it's a lot of it does have to do, there are some violent men. But listen, just like there are some violent men, there are some volatile women out here doing some dirty stuff that ain't cool, that ain't right. And I'm not saying that it's okay to go be violent. I'm not saying it's okay to seek retribution. There are definitely ways to go about handling
more
it.
effective
but
ways,
I'm telling
as I
you,
was saying, right.
Even with the court system, it's hard. And I'm telling you that it's extremely rough. It's extremely tough on the body. It's extremely tough on the mind, the heart, the soul. As a person that's been through that system, it's hard. So I'm saying that I never will understand why you would go be violent, because again, if I hurt the child's mother, then I hurt my child. So you see what I'm saying? So that way of thinking is just whacked out. That's out of there.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like I think this is where I guess me and you disagree. I think it always has to be said. I don't never want to just take it for granted that people know exactly just because they know me that. I want people to know I stand for something.
To just assume
I'm going to make sure that it's echoed all the time. And I'm not saying nothing. No, I got you.
I agree with you.
It has something to do with what I'm trying to do. And
right.
So, that's why I think it was very important, because I went back and looked at the comments. Now, yeah, Nick has some really, really valid points.
Okay.
And I think they were lost in translation. There's a lot.
They definitely were. And
that's why I'm glad that you came on and you had to just, hey, I don't stand for that. But in the same token is, if we're trying to have a correlation between that and talking about child custody, courts, and all that, real quick. I didn't see it, and that's why.
Real quick, somebody in the comment section had even said he had given his personal testimony. He was like, maybe phrase the way you present the topic, the talking points.
Oh, okay.
And initially, because I didn't think there was anything wrong with what I had initially put down for the talking point, I was like, no, it's phrased right. And then that's when another thread started happening where, you've seen it. Yeah. So then at the end of the whole thing, I was like, you know what? I can take accountability for how this may have came off.
Yep.
And so what I'm gonna do is tweak it to where it makes a little bit more sense. And if it doesn't make sense, and if it still doesn't make sense to you, if you feel offended or whatever, which you're entitled to your feelings. I'm not here to invalidate that. I'm not here to diminish your wordplay. None of that. Oh, I'm gonna say pretty much what I was saying to the young lady in the comment section. That's a personal problem that you have, but we're gonna talk about it regardless.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
So all it needs to be said.
Right.
I agree with you.
Tune in and get full context.
And that's all I was saying. I agree, and that's where I'm coming from.
Right.
I just didn't see the correlation, and that's all I said.
Right.
So it's a great topic to talk about.
Right.
If we're trying to correlate to, that's
but
what
I think that may have been a bad base for study. And maybe the way you worded it, because again, I haven't seen it yet. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
I already knew where you were going with it when we started.
But you got to think about there's 2,700 people.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
People are not going to. Some people are not going to know, especially women are not going to. When they see it as pointing the finger. Like, what are you saying? It's okay, or
but again, so here's my thing.
The child, he was having a child custody battle.
So here's my thing.
It pushed him to the fact that you know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Hear me out. So here's my thing, though. Well, you made a point where you said people are gonna think that you're leaning or associating. But my thing about it is I didn't see. Again, I haven't seen the topic. Per se, I haven't seen it worded. Mm-hmm. But when it was worded to me, I initially already knew that. Okay, so you're tying in what happened. And how did we get here, right? So I already was able to make that correlation. But again, I understand where Nick was going.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's fair. Again, some will understand. Some won't make the correlation. And that's fine.
And that's the way it's going to be. And I get that.
Right.
But it's nothing wrong clarifying.
No, it's nothing wrong with it at all.
Here we are.
Yes. Real quickly though, guys, we have a lady. What are your views? Can we just, because we're talking from the men's perspective, but let's see. What do you feel about what's been said?
The topic on hand, I look at it as a mental health issue that was triggered by stressors. I don't think it has anything to do with custody or child support per se. I think it's ongoing mental health issues that was constant stressors going through my personal stuff right now.
Oh.
I understand the stressors and the person has to take accountability.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, it's mental health.
Yes,
bottom line, because it doesn't matter what the topic on hand is.
The end result ended up what it was.
Exactly.
And it was gonna happen.
Thank you.
It was gonna happen.
I'll be here next week.
And from a woman's perspective too, I greatly appreciate your input.
But like so, yeah, and I agree with that's what I said. To me, it's a mental health. It's not
we know what it initially said. We just went over that.
Right. So again, I think for this user, or again, go make sure you guys when you guys are commenting, go to the Shopkulture page. We say it all the time. Please go to the Shopkulture page.
Even if they do that, they have to go to the StreamYard and say, I agree.
Right, but when they go to the page, it'll ask.
Okay.
So all you have to do is click OK. So
listen.
Basically, what we understand that the topic was worded wrong. You see what I'm saying? It was a busy week for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, where we're trying to go, but it wasn't worded wrong. It was misunderstood. Thank you.
There you go, misunderstood.
My bad.
I'll take that. Because like I said, I didn't think there was anything wrong with how.
Because again, I was able to make that correlation instantly. But again, I think where we were trying to go, or where Nick was trying to take the conversation, was into the child support, into the custody issues, where we talk about
those are variables,
right? And those are variables, like she just said. Those were stressors that ultimately attributed to his mental health breaking down and him having a psychotic break.
At least with the custody battles for this.
Right. No, but again, so listen.
She said mental health causing the stress.
Okay, hold on. Right. Okay, so I think everybody is focusing on the wrong thing. Nick is not trying to talk about this man's case in particular. He's trying to talk about those variables that can become stressors that led to this man's breakdown. Okay, those stressors are stressors that we all go through.
Thank you.
Every single one of us, whether you receive child support, whether you pay child support, whether you're the child waiting to get child support,
right?
Whether you're in the custody battle,
right?
All of that is what the conversation was supposed to be.
I think people understand that, but that's what they're saying. It said when you said initially, it said child support. That's all that people said. We understand all the variables that go around it, but if you're saying it was child support, that's what people are saying. Like, oh, that's.
Because that's what they were confused. Because that's what they were even saying in the comments. Well, the case doesn't say anything about child support, just custody battles, and you're saying this. That I was like, okay, and I tried to explain what it was I was doing.
I said
no, I'm just reiterating for the viewers. We got people that are chiming in and popping in and popping out. So I'm just reiterating. That's all.
You know what I'm saying? I think initially, and that may have been, and that's why I say it may have been a bad example using that man's case, because. I mean, again,
said it about 5 times.
No, but listen, I don't. Hold on, wait, Nick. What did I say when you first brought it up? I said that's a great topic. I said I understand.
Yeah.
Boom. Now,
I still think it's a great good topic.
I mean, everybody
is that
I'm not tripping either way. We're having the conversations, and that's all that matters to me.
The problem is that people are correlating, this result and saying, okay, this is going to happen every time. No, that's not what he was saying. Mm-hmm. Take the subjects out of it,
and your emotions out of it too,
completely. Right, and just let's talk about child support, custody battle issues. That's what how it negatively affects the men that go through it.
I was with you. That is the talking point overall.
Right now, let's get to that.
We already did. We got to go to the next topic.
We spent this whole.
We got to go to the next topic. Listen, let me just say this. Let me just say this.
I'll be honest with you. I'm confused too. That's what he was saying. So what is the topic? That's what I'm saying. We should talk about that in particular real quick.
That's what I was trying to get to in the beginning of the show is that I understand the correlation. Let's talk about that part because this idiot, this psycho, he's.
But we had to talk about it because there was a lot of questions, a lot of time. That's the reason why I wanted to address it first. That's why I had you come on there. So, guys, there was reasons behind that, but we are going to talk about some child support because I think that is a very Very good topic,
Right.
and a topic that we all need to discuss and understand. From the male's perspective, this is what we're going to talk about.
And the topic is we just talking, man. We just talking. Sometimes I just like to run my mouth.
Okay.
Listen, I
But
talk a lot.
No, it's like
let's talk about
the
child
question.
support.
Okay,
Now,
go ahead.
on a whole, though, and we're talking from the men.
Right.
From a men's perspective, you think child
Thank
support is a fair,
Well, no, it's definitely not a fair system.
not a fair system?
No, I don't.
And would you say that it's more so in favor of the mother or the father? The family court system as we see it
So here
today.
we go.
Well, we're saying that when you bring there's two separate things. Oh, so we're going to say family court. Let's go family court.
Okay, so
Isn't all of that a part of family court?
Hold on, wait. Child support court is actually very different from family court.
That's what, yeah.
Okay.
Very different.
Yes.
You deal with very different lawyers.
I'm ignorant to some stuff.
That's
Y'all put me
No,
on.
that's why I
Okay.
said. You're not hearing. That's why I said. What's going on today? Am I talking about show?
We all on edge right now.
Yeah,
I am anyway. I won't speak for nobody else.
I'm good.
And I'm passionate about my, talking points.
I got my kid. Okay.
And it's packing too. I hope you
All right, go ahead. Let me shut up.
It's back every day.
So, for our listeners, will you tell them? Okay, child support and family, it's different. Why is it different? Can you give us a little?
Okay, so child support court. Normally, when you end up in child support court, it's what it's called. It's called child support enforcement court. Okay, so normally that court is when one person or the payee, okay, has not been doing their due diligence, they haven't paid, or they're not meeting with the court, or if they couldn't pay, they haven't went to the court and said this is why. So then they will have you start doing monthly meetings. You'll have to meet with prosecutors. You can hire a lawyer or attorney if you want to. I did. Because I don't trust nobody that work for no court system. So I went and hired my own attorney because I was like, I don't know what none of these papers mean. So I need you to tell me what this means.
Okay.
But family court is different. Family court is where you would discuss the custody issue. Now, a lot of times they will be done in the same courtroom. They'll be handled by the same magistrate because a lot of times it's not a judge. It's either a magistrate or it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's administrator.
It's a mediator.
Thank you, mediator. Thank you so much. Thank you. I couldn't get it off my tongue. Thank you so much. It'll either be a mediator or a magistrate. Now, once it becomes an enforcement issue to where, like, let's say there's visitation issues, the father's not picking up the child when he's supposed to, and the mother wants to file charges, then that will be handled by the judge. Okay, and that's handled in family court. Child support court is normally just done for child enforcement because you can actually go and file your own child support. And you don't even have to go to court. You literally talk to the family advocate. You sit down, fill out some paperwork. They'll send the paperwork to the custody, the parent that has custody. I won't say the mother or the father because I have custody. So they'll send it to the parent that has custody. They'll either agree.
But it is hard for a man to have full custody of his.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
We're talking about it here in the state of Washington.
No, it is
extremely.
It's so the thing about people tend to say that Washington is a woman first state. It's not. It was for many years. Washington has turned over to now what they call a first parent. Okay, a first parent. So technically, if you and Sue have a baby, there is no custody until custody is established. So they automatically award it to the mother because they assume the baby will be living with the mother. Now,
are they wrong for doing that?
Yes.
No.
Nick,
and I tell you why.
I agree with that.
Go ahead.
I tell you why.
Go ahead.
So the reason I say that it's not wrong to assume because majority
she barely
from birth.
I said yes.
Hold on. Now listen. Most fathers will, there are fathers that have taken their child from birth. The mother, wasn't involved, but
small,
very small, very. Listen,
I looked it up. It was like 11 point something.
It's a very small fraction of men that literally have been single fathers from birth. Okay, now becoming a single father
in Washington or just overall?
No, overall. This
okay.
overall.
Okay.
And we're talking from the moment the baby, either the mother dies or leaves, right after birth. It's a very small fraction of men
signing up for that.
That they go through it.
No,
Listen, it's tough.
I'm trying to tell you.
No, I was. I heard.
Okay, get back because this is good, guys.
Go ahead.
Guys, this is Shopkulture.
Come on,
good
man.
stuff. We're talking about what
the topic is on the damn bottom of the screen. Y'all confused.
I'm just confused.
Oh, no, because we got people in the thread like, what is the topic? It's like y'all can't read. It's right there at the bottom of the screen.
So,
I thought I was.
I did a bit.
Did I start something? Shopkulture,
Shopkulture, man. We go up, man.
You got this this ball head sweating. You got me sweating this boy.
Oh, man, you made me lose my damn thought process.
I got station for y'all. Nick and Ann gonna give me it. Y'all.
Oh my God.
Nick seeing things. You're like, consider them there. I'm like, I don't.
So Washington is a first parent state. So again, I don't think it's wrong to assume just because again the child comes from the mother.
Absolutely.
They're the first. They're literally first contact.
Yes. Mother's job is come on.
Please dive in. I mean, again, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but again, from research that I've done and I've been parent for almost 18 years. Small fraction of dudes.
I was
signing up for that.
I was tuning into this attorney's podcast. He's a family attorney, a familial attorney or family attorney. 20 years, and he was saying, the fact that people think that the mother is automatically going to be favoring the mother as the go-to parent and not the father is extremely baseless. Because you're thereby diminishing the father's role or something like that.
I see where you're going.
You said that. So I understand the lawyer saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay, so listen, I don't necessarily disagree, but so here's my thing.
Okay.
So here's my opinion. Not enough single fathers have. So a lot of times when fathers become the primary parent, it's normally from I'm not going to say normally, but a lot of times. It's a situation where we don't have to go to the court. We didn't. It's
something extreme where it's automatically granted to you, correct?
Right. Or there was need help, whatever the situation was. It's normally a open line of communication when that happens. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Now it may close after you get the child, and again I've seen it to where a father gets a child and they have custody and the mother just disappears. You see what I'm saying? I've seen that happen plenty of times.
But, but
initially.
I agree with you on that.
So here's why I say it's not wrong for the courts to assume. So because not enough of us actually go and report it.
Yes.
Here's the thing. So I've never asked for child support. I've had my children for years. I've never. Now hey, listen, my child needs this. Can you help? But I've never actually went to the court and said, listen, I have this. These are. I went to DSHS, the insurance, all of that.
Right.
But they don't report to the courts.
No,
they'll report when you're wrong, when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. But so I actually went through this last year where was going through, and my son's mother called to change some insurance policies on her 2 other kids. They changed it for my son. So when I went to do my review for all our insurance and all of that through the state and all that, they actually thought that I had been lying, that my son had been with me, and literally wanted to review all of my children's cases.
You were audited.
I did. I got, bro, and the lady literally told me on the phone, I'm going to audit you. I don't believe you. I don't think your children actually live with you. So I had to go to the schools and all of that. So the reason I say it's not wrong is because not enough of us as fathers reported to the courts that we actually have the custody so that the courts actually see the changes. See what I'm saying? So when the system starts to see the change and shift,
it makes a lot of sense.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't ever be a statistic if you never report your
exactly.
statistics.
And how many single fathers have full custody that on top of you?
And so and full custody means they actually have went and got it signed off. Boom. That is your custody.
So when I hear people say that, I'm like, well, okay, but let's look at the numbers and just people I can count on my
hand. I know
what.
Hey, he's dope at it. I'm telling you, that boy.
I'm sorry. I have actually 3 other clients, so 4 altogether. Out of all the parents I know, and I give the props on that.
But here's my thing. So again, and I do know quite a few single parents, that are males, right? But I also know some great single mothers too that are really, really doing their thing. So shout out to all the single parents.
Shout out to anybody who's raising a child. Whoever is doing what you're supposed to do, that's what it's about.
Come on, man.
Do what you're supposed to do.
And so going forward, that's who we are. That's who we are at Shopkulture. We support people doing the right things that are moving forward, helping the next generation get forward. That's what we support. We don't support none of that wild stuff that people out there acting up, killing folks. We don't do none of that, man. So back to what I was saying, though, is when in Washington, you have to go report it. So that's why it's not wrong, because not enough of us are reporting that we're actually doing the work. So the statistics never change. So so society's view can't change, right?
Right.
It's society, we know we view things as a big whole. It's hard for us to break things down and be objective as a society.
Yeah.
As a society, not as individuals.
It's always male versus female. It doesn't matter what it is.
As a group, we tend to look at things very broad, right? Individuals break things down. Groups it's a fact. Groups are stupid. Individuals are smart. Let's just be realistic. That's a scientific fact. You can look it up. That's a scientific fact.
I've heard.
Society as a whole.
I've heard it. I don't know.
Think about it like
validity behind it.
I've
heard it.
It is a scientific fact. Like, think about it like this. If you're in a group, you see a group of people running.
Oh, you're talking about like group think.
Yeah.
Group mentality. Group mentality is. Okay. I'm not saying our group. Group mentality is dumb. Individual mentality because when you're in a group, it is a scientific fact that when you're in a group of 3 or more, most people will tend to lend to the favored opinion. Now, when you're an individual, you tend to break things down more, and you tend to diagnose things a little bit more than when you're in a group. When you're in a group setting, people as a whole. I'm not saying you.
No,
people as a whole.
It's called herding.
It is herding, but
herding, not group. It's herding.
It's herding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hive mind, exactly.
My mentality is real.
Very good.
Yeah.
So as a whole, since we haven't as men started to report it enough, it's hard for society as a whole to come out of the mob mentality, hive mindset that single fathers don't exist or don't exist for long periods of time or aren't there from day one.
There you go.
See what I'm saying? So that's on us.
You just said like there's 3 different aspects of it, right? And it just changed the dynamic of what you're talking. So I agree, and that's why I disagree with the fact that more men. There are men out there that are doing it. They're not reporting it. Whatever the case might be, report it. But it's still not even close to the numbers of single mothers.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And so we have to ask, as men, we just have to acknowledge that. And that's fine.
Oh, yeah,
let's work within, that mindset and make some changes within that. And I think that's where we're kind of not doing as a whole as men. We're trying to say, well, I know women that you really don't. No, you don't. There's more women, single mothers, period.
And I would say,
but here's my thing, right? Even with the low numbers of single father, or what we tend to believe are low numbers, because I actually know my father, you know what I'm saying, raised me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, my mom was there in her own household.
Okay.
But as far as the main being raised, I was raised by my father. So I've seen it firsthand. I've seen my uncles. I've seen my brothers. And I've seen a lot of successful single fathers. But again, the problem is we don't report it, and we don't acknowledge it as a society enough, right? It put it like this: how many single fathers on Mother's Day do you see? Say, hey, it's Mother's Day, y'all give me my props. But you'll see Father's Day, you'll see a lot of single mothers. I mean, and again, I'm not saying right or wrong. But you'll see on Father's Day, you'll see
that's a good point
mothers.
too.
It's Father's Day. I play both roles. Well,
but I disagree with that too.
I do too.
Totally
but that's what I'm saying. So again, we're talking about the society's view on it. So again, we as men need to start acknowledging it more outwardly. We have to put it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Overall, that's interesting. So you're saying that
overall make the change.
Well, okay. So you're saying the acknowledgement is what's needed, or
I think
what's learned in order to make it.
I think that the acknowledgement of the fact that there are many single fathers, successful single fathers, doing their jobs, pushing their kids, striving and doing well. And I think we have to acknowledge it more to change society's views that we don't do it.
That's the first step, acknowledging the
Listen,
problem.
like you said,
like we're doing right now.
When we first, just a minute ago, you said me and 3 others, right? But I guarantee there's probably more that just don't talk about it, because us as men, we don't necessarily always talk about because being single fathers.
But and I agree. But what I'm saying is still not at the numbers of. So
no,
that's the reason why you're not going to. It's not going to be viewed upon because the numbers are just.
It's not at the numbers because, like he said, there's no little to no acknowledgement. And if you're acknowledging and having these conversations and pushing and holding other men accountable, as I would like to think we're doing it right now, then those numbers, the stats, will change.
Because listen, do you know how many people
should change?
Listen, check this out, B. You know how many people know me personally? Say that. And I'm very outward with who I am as a parent, how I raise my kids. You know how many people have come into my house and said, "Oh my God, you really are like by by yourself.
It's crazy.
And I'm like, do I not put that out there?
But you hear what they're saying? They just don't know. That's what I'm saying. They don't.
But
They don't know it.
But again,
You say that there's a lot of them. I don't know if there's
listen,
a lot.
So,
I think
but
there's
you're missing my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Assumptions.
So listen, I put it out there. You know me. I have no problem putting it out to who I am as a parent. I don't hide who Anthony is. Anthony is Anthony. Love me or hate me, but you're gonna listen. Okay? But for people that know me, that actually are personal with me, to have come into my house, come into my life, and said, "Well, hey, I didn't, you was really like that, dude. You were really a single dad. Like you really out here every day." And I'm like, "Well, what did you think I was doing?
They don't
Did
expect
you think I was lying?
and they
Think
assume.
I was joking?" Like again, but see, here's the problem.
Okay.
So let me bring that back around. Let me make the point. I'm about to make the point for you. Bring that back around. So what I'm saying is the reason why that mentality is because there's not enough men saying that we're actually doing this. So when people see a single father, they tend to assume, well, maybe he just has them, a couple days out the week, and he's claiming it. Because I know, dude. Listen, I've seen it. I've seen it. Dudes that they put up the image of they're great dad, but they just take the pictures. You see what I'm saying? And they post it at the birthday parties. And, they take a couple pictures a week, and now they're a great dad.
You go to the basketball game where
right.
That's
right.
not being that's what I think. Yeah.
And so here's my thing. So back what I was saying, and bring it full circle. Okay. We as men have to not only acknowledge it, but we have to put it out there more. We have to be able to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we have to. Because at Valley City where I work, we have a lot of single dads groups actually, where single dads actually come and they meet and they talk about all their problems, their stressors, and everything they go through. But the problem is outside of those groups, how many people in your life actually know what you're really doing and the work that you're putting in? So what I'm saying is we have to acknowledge it ourselves, what we are doing, not just I want Barry to look at me. I love, and I love when you appreciate my work as a father, but I have to appreciate my work as a father. I have to be able to speak on my issues as a single father. So that way, when people get to talking about these things, they really understand that we really do, as single fathers, really do parent our kids. You know what I'm saying? And we are here. And we're not a minority. And that's what I want to get it to be understood is we're not a minority. We're a minority because we're making ourselves a minority. Yes, it's tumor. Yeah. What's up?
You guys?
I agree with all of what you just said. I'm on point with it. Yep. And I just wanted to have the conversation, and I'm liking where it evolved into.
Can I jump in a comment real quick?
Go ahead.
I'm reading David. David, listen, and I appreciate the love that you show single mothers, but not on Father's Day, because again, that's where we blur the lines of, are there single fathers? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think,
but that's what he said. He's going on the perception and
right. But that's what I'm talking to him, so that we can understand. We have to be able to dialogue in these situations. So what I'm saying is as a father, I take it somewhat offensive. Again, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Do as you please. But I take it somewhat a little bit offensive because I know the work that I put in 365 every day to make sure that my kids are successful, well matured, doing great in life. To see, on the day that we get celebrated, we don't get celebrated very often as fathers.
Very little.
Like let's be realistic. Like listen, it's a running joke that on Father's Day and Christmas we get the ties and the socks, right? Mothers get the thoughtful gifts. Let's be realistic. Mothers get the thoughtful gifts. The maid, they're gonna make you something at school.
The perception is they were doing most of the work.
Exactly. Right. That goes back to what you were just saying.
Right. Bring it
perception
full
or not. Yeah.
So and that's what I'm saying is we got to get away from blurring those lines. See what I'm saying? So that way we can, as single fathers, step forward, step to the forefront, and say, "Hey, we're here too. We're here too, and we do exist. And there are some of us that put in this work every single day. There are some of us that will sit in the airport for 13 hours just to get their kid home. Okay? Yeah. Like, and so, but that's why I'm saying that we as fathers have to put it out there. And so that's why I'm not saying David's wrong. I'm just saying that I think we blur the lines when on Mother's Day or Father's Day we're celebrating the opposite sex.
I guess what I people can do what they want, really.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
they're gonna do what they want.
They are. I agree with you. I think that Father's Day should be garnered for fathers, especially fathers that are in their children's life, whether or not full custody, shared custody, joint custody, whatever the case might be. It should be celebrated. It's one day, so let's just celebrate that. So I agree with it. But at the end of the time, people are going to do what they have to do.
Listen, you gonna love what you say what you say. I don't personally.
And I think as a
but
father,
I think that's how we'll get to the forefront of
it might be, but
addressing these issues.
I've already accepted the fact that I won't, and that's cool. As long as my kids, that's at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who's going to, who's going to celebrate you and all that. I'm a grown man. Oh, this is what I do.
But see, here's my thing.
This is what I do. You take care of yours.
I don't necessarily, because you know me, I don't care.
No, I know you don't. But I'm just saying.
Every day is Father's
But
Day.
I had guys come here with their lips poked
That's
out.
a great way of looking at it. Every day.
No, every day is Father's Day for me. The best day of my week was today.
Yeah, anytime you have your children, you're with your children, and
they're smiling and they're happy, and
that's
come on, man.
That's what it's about. So celebration, whatever the case might be, we're here.
Real talk. I love that.
Do we have another topic real quick?
If you want to go into it, yeah. That was good. That was good. I did have another topic. It was about choosing better. Are people actively out here in the dating scene choosing better? We hear a lot of static.
No, they're not.
I think
we hear a lot of we hear a lot of static about, ain't no good men out here, ain't no good women out here. But are you really doing the work to choose better?
Guys are looking at the physical attributes.
Well, listen, I can't have something I want to like, man.
I'm not mad at
look at her.
That's why I said what I said.
No, I don't want to look at nothing.
That's what I said. Guys will look at the physical attributes and they get mad and talk about she crazy. Well, yeah. Look at other things besides physical attributes.
Something I like a little crazy.
Well, hey, don't call for the bailout.
And you know I am. Come get me from RJC, man.
I ain't doing no bailout. No, but I really quick, I think that no, people are not choosing better at all, and they can do better, but we choose not to.
What are some of the things people can do to choose better?
Actually date.
Come on.
What does that entail?
Come on.
No. But I agree. But what is that? But everybody has their, what is it, subjective?
So here we go.
Or they have their personal. Objective. Correct me, because I'm slow. So I'm just saying. So what I'm saying, but okay. So what does that entail though? Because everybody has their.
What is dating?
To you, what is you're saying? Get out there and date. What does that mean?
This is what me and Tim are gonna. And I'm not saying I'm following.
Have at it.
Because I'm with you on this.
I think the physical aspect of dating can't be blurred. You have to really get to know that person without having sex with that person.
Okay. Now I see why. Now, okay. Yeah, we do disagree. Yeah, keep one. But again,
wait, I'm not saying I'm false. I'm just saying
no.
That's what you.
No, I see where you're going.
If you really want to get to, because somebody had put on.
That's an excellent point.
What?
No, because that would require self-reflection. People aren't ready for that.
What do we always talk about, right? Whenever we talk about
Kalina, I agree 1,000%.
Straight up. Kalina, I like that.
Kalina,
that's a dope comment.
I like it.
I'm gonna let that one rock for a minute.
Let's dive into that. So, me and B, we have a lot of personal conversation about life and love and how each of us deal with our own relationships because we date very differently. But when it comes to life, we think very similar. And so that's when I remember when I was talking about diving into self and knowing who self is, and really when we were talking about it a couple shows ago about knowing who you are, being able to deal with your own jealousies, being able to deal with your own issues, your own toxicities, and self-reflect on who you are, what you want and what you will and won't put up with, what you will and won't accept. That's how we do better. That's how we find a better partner. But a lot of times, like you said, most men are visual creatures, right? So we see the hips, we see the cheeks, we see the tits, and we're like, ooh, I need that. And then we miss.
But you miss. But what I'm saying though, if you have the problem is, most of us men can't just have sex, right?
Right.
So we're having sex. We're skipping all of what you just said. Once we have sex, that's kind of on the frontal, right? So
not here, but
Okay. That's why we just did.
I'm just being real. Listen, I can do that myself.
Well, that's true too.
Come on.
But most men, right? It's going to be that's what you. Yeah. So you're skipping all those elements that you just said, right? Because you bypassed it,
right?
And it's just I'm just being honest, right? It happens. Listen, it happens to all of us.
All of us.
You get the ass. It's good, right?
You get the ass.
You get the ass. It's good.
Hey, can we tag that? Can we tag that line? Listen, I need somebody to take that line and send it to me, okay? Because that's gonna be my new hashtag.
Right.
You get the ass, and it's good.
It is good, right? But the problem is, what about the person? Then like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or month, 2 months down the line, you're like, damn,
I hate this
I hate
motherfucker. This motherfucker ignorant.
all of a sudden, before you had the ass, this is what they always
She
say.
was so beautiful. She was a good
This
person.
is what I used to always say. Boy, she's really intellectual. I can't even spell the damn word, right? I'm out here talking. What the hell is intellectual?
My God.
Man. So yeah, so that's what happens, and we have to. That's why I'm saying a lot of us got to be honest about it. And if you're gonna date, you're gonna have to date. Without, for me,
So
I ain't following that. I'm just saying.
Can I bring up somebody's comment real quick? Because I thought it was.
Jump
All right. So tomorrow, Wallace says no more online dating. Get back to meeting in real life instead of these social media sites.
Stop. Wait.
Uh-oh.
Stop.
Uh-oh.
You agree with that?
How I know you?
Oh,
I'm just joking.
Oh, wait a minute. I was about to say.
That's actually my homegirl. So I know I can
was
play her
about
like
to
that. I
say,
know
going up the spot.
No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. See, I love you. I'm just playing, baby. I love you. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Damn.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking, man. No, but you know what's crazy? I read an article. I'm gonna dive into that comment.
Okay.
I read an article that said 70% of marriages are lasting longer for people that met online than people that met organically.
70%?
that's a lot, too.
Bro, that's what the article
That's
said.
a lot.
I'm gonna look. I'm not saying you're lying. I gotta read that. I
thought it was
I
weird too
think
because again, the reason I thought it was weird because I'm not a good online dater. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like small talk. So that
small talk.
I can talk to you first in person, and we can shoot the shit for a couple minutes. But I can't
small talk.
I can't online. I can't bring myself to how was your day? Like, what do you like? The small talk.
How's your day?
Like,
what do you do?
So I'm not a good online dater.
How is small
So I didn't
talk any
understand.
different from text via doing face to face?
So, but see, text is personal because I know this.
I'm just asking.
You see that warm body.
Okay.
That makes a difference.
Well, not even necessarily because. So I'm gonna hit you with a fact, babe. I'm gonna hit you with something.
Go ahead.
So let's say I'm texting a girl I know, right? Mm-hmm. It's a different feel to that conversation than it is to online date when I'm just now getting to know you, and now I have to go through that. What's your favorite color?
Texting.
I'm wild.
I had to be real with it.
It comes down to motives, right? Because motives. If you're online dating, a lot of times you're just trying to get that.
Well,
a lot of the times, but when I can see how online dating relationships work because sometimes you get to know the person.
When you really dive into that.
As you were talking about, you get to know the person, and there's not going to be that physical touch. But I'm also like you. I'm old school because to me it's about energy.
Thank you. So here's my thing about that.
That's what I'm going to talk about.
So here's my thing is
energy is so important.
That's like for me, I'm just not a person that like I don't know how to start those online conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know you, and it's different when I'm in your face. I'm a different person. My energy is
swipe right. That's how you start.
You said what?
You swipe right.
What's that mean?
So
damn, she is old school.
But so you was swiping right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she know what it means.
She know what it means. She already said it because she said it first when you're on an online date.
No, I'm talking about smashing.
Exactly.
What he was saying.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
But we just
okay. I was
like, but yeah, so like for me, again, like you said, intention is a lot, right? You don't know a person's intention. Again, and maybe it's just me. I can start a conversation organically, but you get bored, bro. Stop it. You know I do. But I don't. But again, I don't have online game. I don't have that online, whatever they call it. I don't
online game. That seems to be what a lot of folks is leading with. Men in particular.
Because Nick is younger than Nick.
Yeah, what up?
Aren't you guys doing more the online? That's how you're meeting.
I mean, that's how I was going about it. I was doing a little bit of both, but I got more so into the online.
Yeah,
but my Jerome now though, we met
online.
Not through a dating site though. We were Facebook friends for like a minute. For a minute, and then I invited her out. The one time that I did slide in her DMs, I invited her out on for business.
Oh,
Business
no,
talk.
yeah, right.
Then it went from there.
That's what it's called.
Then it went from there.
That's what it's called.
I swear it was all business. I swear.
The whole business meeting. Yeah, more brothers have more damn business meetings.
Yeah, I promise you.
Let's have a business meeting.
Right.
It's
I didn't
10 o'clock
know more
at night,
days
so we gonna
than
start-
Business. It was a lunch date. It was a lunch date. It wasn't even a dinner date. It was a lunch date.
Was you dressed up?
Like you said,
No, I was like this. I was
Lunch
just
what?
like this.
Oh,
Hold on,
It was
lunch
super
what?
casual.
Lunch what?
It was a lunch date.
Date. Wasn't no
Lunch
business
date.
meeting.
stop
Wasn't no
that.
business going on.
Yeah.
But business
That's
was being
just
discussed. Business was being discussed. It was being discussed.
Business was being discussed about 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. The rest of it was
About 30 minutes of just talking about what I initially invited her out for.
okay.
And then we were there for like 2 hours. And it went, the
So-
conversation
So
just went
30
there.
minutes
So
again,
look,
what I just said. So that's
so
about
just
a
went-
a
third.
of course.
Let's just do the math
Of
again,
course.
guys. So what I just
But when you have,
But
hold on.
He said 2 hours.
But hold on real quick. Hold on real quick.
So
It was 30 minutes of what I wanted to give or take, what I wanted to talk about, and then the conversation just naturally flowed.
of course you did.
And so that's why we
Yeah,
Because that was
easily
the
lose
business
track of
was there to
time.
discuss.
2 people
2
that are
hours.
attracted to each other.
Because we was discussing business.
Addressing each other with their eyes. You know, it happens like that. That's what it is.
My last 2 relationships came from
Online?
photography.
Wait, from what?
Photography,
Business.
business. The business.
Let's see.
Hey, business is booming.
Business is booming.
Business is booming. Hey, BC, it's booming.
I don't know what to say. I know we're going to have to close it down. Shopkulture, remember, guys, December 26th, we're doing it. Meet and greet.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay?
Come shake a hand, make a friend.
Meet and greet. We have some shirts there. We got Shopkulture Supreme. The ladies are going to be coming.
All right.
Yeah, we got Shopkulture right there. So make sure you guys tune in. We got the ladies, like I said, we have the ladies edition that's going to be joining us at the meet and greet. But their show is officially going to be launching in January. So that's going to be coming soon, guys. So make sure you guys support the group. Make sure you like and share and join. Tell your friends. It's Shopkulture. Any last words?
Whether you love us or hate us, speak your mind.
Oh, man.
Get in the group and speak your piece.
Yeah.
I love to have the conversation.
No, that's what it's about, guys. And I think, like I was saying in the previous weeks, at Shopkulture, we're going to always kind of diagnose this from the man's perspective. That's what this is.
And I think a lot. Go ahead.
Well, Nick, I want to get what you're saying.
Mhm.
So, ladies, we enjoy having our queens here. That's a part of the process, but you have to understand, it's coming from the male's perspective.
Right.
That's what the Shopkulture is.
That's all I can give you.
That's all we're going to give you. Now, you might disagree with it, and you have a right to. We still
If
gonna
you
love you.
disagree, holla at us.
Tell me why. But
I'm
understand where
open to
it's
listen.
coming from. It is coming from a male's perspective.
But also understand that we try to be objective male perspective.
Mhm.
You know, we give personal perspective, personal opinions, but a lot of time we try to be objective and create dialogue. Because that's how we learn, that's how we move forward, that's how we get better in life, creating dialogue and having these conversations. But being able to agree and being able to disagree.
And
And
that's,
being able to hear each other.
and that's
Being
the
able
most
to talk
important
to each other and understand that I may not like it, I may not agree with it, but you have the right to your opinion.
thing. And we
Right.
need each other because, listen, guys, we need each other. We know that. Cool. Let's stop fronting and listen. More than things to listen to one another. Guys, this is Shopkulture, man. This has been a good show, man. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And I know it's on a different day, but you guys were with us. You rock with us. We appreciate it.
Appreciate
Everybody on the
that.
IG lives, you know what I'm saying?
shoot.
We appreciate you.
You know what
what
it
I'm
is.
saying? Nephew. I
Okay,
see you, boy. South
Talk to
Carolina,
him.
man. I love you, boy.
Get your
Know
hats.
what I do.
Shopkulture hats coming right back with you.
Come on, man.
Let's go. Shopkulture.
Meet
thank
and
you.
greet.
Meet and greet. Yes.
Get there.
Yes.
Get there, man.
Stay safe. Be blessed. That's it. We out.
All right.
Woo.